Welcome to Umoja Voice, our monthly program with me, Marie Ndale.
With me, Joe Santiago.
With myself, Jackie Burnett.
Umoja means unity.
We as Africans need to unite to discuss solutions for us, by us.
We will be talking about asset-based wealth creation,
Youth empowerment,
wealth protection,
health and wealth, how they go together.
because your health is your wealth.
Welcome to our monthly program,
Umoja Voice.
Hello, brothers and sisters, wherever you are. This is Umoja Voice. Welcome to our time of reflection. As we approach the end of the year, 2025, we've decided, the Umoja team, that it's time to reflect. Reflection is a very powerful tool in the individual or a collective to grow. So, we're going to be talking about what has Umoja Generational Wealth been doing for the last year. And today online is myself, Jacqueline Burnett, and my brother that's here with us is Brother Jose. Can you
Joe
introduce yourself?
Santiago. Yeah,
Welcome,
I'm
brother.
Joe Santiago, part of Umoja.
Welcome. Right. So,
Thank
brother,
you.
we have packed loads in this year. What would you say to our listeners are the outstanding key things that UGW has achieved in 2025?
Well, of course, I'm going to go on 2 or 3 which touch my bone better, but definitely our second Ubuntu Awakening Summit definitely is occupy the pinnacle where we went to São Tomé for a week, if you like, and delivered this summit. Of course, our listeners know, hopefully, that the first one we did in Jamaica, and the second one was in São Tomé. And the significance of that is because we are working on reversing the triangle. So the colonizers went and picked up our ancestors from Africa and took them to the Americas and sold them and did all of those things. Now it's time for us, the diaspora, gang up together and go back home. So the first time is that we went to Jamaica to spiritually pick up our brothers and sisters, our elders, and spiritually this year we took them to São Tomé. We brought them back home. And the other very important thing for many of us is that São Tomé was actually the first enslavement hub created by the colonizers way before the Alumina Castle. Many people know about Alumina Castle in Ghana, but very few people knew that where it all started was in São Tomé by the Portuguese. So the summit, of course, was there. I mean, we visited the equator line. We visited the enslavement dungeon called Anambor. Anambor means we will be going, I'm going. So it was definitely the higher point of our 2025. It was in August. But following that, we also launched Ancestral Village. Ancestral Village is a development, if we could call it, is an urban development where we will be building many houses and complex using our ancestors' technology, using sacred geometry, using sacred architecture. So we will not be using the so-called modern architecture. We will be using the architecture, the science, all done by our ancestors. In that place, there will be, a common, it's going to be a sports center. There will be a school. There will be a healthcare center. Remember, our healthcare is not with conventional medicine. We are talking about we talk about traditional medicine because this is safer, is really actually better than any other. But more importantly, taking into consideration the food sovereignty, every house of our ancestor village is going to have a piece of land attached to it. And that piece of land is going to be demanded not to plant flowers, but to plant food. You can talk about vegetables, you can talk about potatoes, you can talk about whatever you like, but that piece of land is not going for you to put roses and things like this, because whether we like it or not, roses look beautiful, but it doesn't feed anybody. So, and we launched this in Saint Tomé, and this is where, and we've got quite advanced work in that. In the same thing, I'm going to mention at least two, another one only, is the ancestral route. Remember that we spoke about reversing the triangle.
Yes.
So what we did this time is to connect. So the enslavers left Europe, went to Africa, and then they took us to Brazil, they took us to Haiti, they took us to United States. What we are doing now, we're connecting in reverse. So it's Charleston, the United States, then Haiti, then Jamaica, then Brazil, then to Saint Tomé, then to Ghana and Angola. So we built the reverse route of our ancestors, literally taking them back home. So there is a lot of more that we did, but those are the three, I would say, highest point that we have reached this year.
Yeah, I have to say, I was just so happy, but at peace. Sort of different emotions at the same time in knowing that we've achieved that reconnection back with so many things going on in the world, and even the conversation, the similarities in the food. That was really an enlightening moment for myself. So I'm really glad about what we've achieved. How, just to remind listeners, how were we received with the locals and government and the figures? We did cap this before, but I think it just be really important to bring it
I have,
home on that one.
yeah, I have to say, of course, for the listeners who don't know, I am originally from Saint Tomé. And I thought I knew everything about the country, and I have to admit that I was very nervous. I was not convinced. No, honestly, I was really nervous in terms of how we would be received and how hostile people would be, and so on and so forth. But I believe the fact that we organized our things and went there, people actually embraced us. I have to say, I was shocked, not in a negative way, but I was shocked in a positive, the way people were looking for embracing us, welcoming us, taking part. And I definitely was, I have to say, I mean, I was shocked because coming from the country, I was in my back of my mind saying, these people, they're going to boycott this thing, they're going to cause us problem, and so on and so forth. But no, none of this thing happened. It was to the
Brilliant.
contrary. From the government, just to tell your listeners, we had a minister of youth and environment doing the opening of the ceremony. We had the minister of justice attending all the session, and we had the minister of education doing the closing ceremony. We had the president, the speaker of the house in the session, the deputy speaker of the house was in the session, various entrepreneurs and public figures. So I have to tell you that I was listening. Considering the media, all media covered, all television stations, all the major radios, all the newspapers. So I mean, I have to tell you that I was really, really impressed with the way. I was not expecting the way we were welcomed. I was not.
So the words or the line exceeded your expectation? Would that be
Definitely,
brilliant?
definitely. And again, I just want to make a point here is that many times we are. I'm speaking against myself. Many times we are so prejudiced ourselves. We've got stereotype in our head. I'm telling you straight. In my head, I designed a stereotype of my people. And when I get to there and they shocked me with the opposite, I kind of fell off balance.
Okay. That's lovely. I would say that's
Yeah.
part of a
Yeah.
healing journey. Right. So we have achieved better connection between our Caribbean and African community. Would that be a fair statement?
Yeah, this is a fair statement. I mean, honestly, of course, the job is not done. Let's be honest, because we are going on the road that some people trudged for 1,000 years. So we are baby starting the journey. But I can say without reservation, people in the Caribbean living in that part of the world, people in the Caribbean itself, I have to say that the conversation or the understanding started moving in there. So let's put it that way, because of course we still have a long way to go, but people start being more inquisitive. People start being more curious. They want to find out more. They are taking steps in order to move forward. So I think it's a quite positive sign, very positive sign.
I think that the conversation and the communication actually taking place demonstrate threatens those that have had power of some of the stuff that's going on in the continent, because they can sense a change that
Yeah.
wasn't there before. We are embracing each other more,
Yeah.
and that's really good.
It is absolutely good, but obviously, as you quite rightly said, let's be honest, it's a game of survival. These people, our enemies, been living off our blood. Okay, they've been sucking our blood to live. And when we wake up now and say, hold on, somebody's sucking my blood and I need my own blood. I don't need it to be given them. Of course, those people are going to do all they can to keep sucking the blood. This is the truth. So, but we, particularly we in the diaspora, we need to wake up, because these people are making us here in the United States and all Europe or so, they are making us knowing very clearly that we are not from here. They are saying it into so many shapes and forms and methods. So then we needed to start realizing that, hold on, if these people are saying that I'm not from here and I've got a place to go, wouldn't that be a good time for me to at least start exploring the opportunity? Because of course, if you were born in this country and live here for 50 years, it's not wise to tell you, okay, you know what, pack up your bag and just go, because it wouldn't work. But while it is still time, isn't that a good time now for you to start exploring? Explore it.
Well, they said
Yeah.
there's a saying: "Them who fail to prepare to
Yeah.
fail." So
Absolutely.
what we've been doing, UGW, for the last 5 years, is enabling our people of African heritage to prepare on
Yeah.
on many different levels. Um,
Yes.
So if we have to go somewhere, we are more familiar of
Yes.
custom commonalities. You
Yeah.
know, that was the lovely thing about finding out when we was planning Santa May, that we talk about Kalaloo, and you were
Yes.
saying, how do you spell the Kalaloo, Sister Jackie? And you said it was the same way. But
Yeah.
if we didn't come together from different journeys, we wouldn't realise how much we got in common.
It's nice you have said that, because honestly, if you look into the landscape in Jamaica and come to the west coast of Africa, we go to Jamaica and go to, let's say, Brazil, in eastern coast of Brazil, and go to Jamaica and go to west coast of Africa, you would not see much of a difference.
Yeah.
The food, the breadfruit, the jackfruit, the callaloo itself, and so those things are equal, very common in both sides. And I have to say, for example, the rice and peas and this kind of thing, many times because our ancestors were taken to unknown environment, they did not have the original ingredients to do the same food, so they have to adapt.
That's it.
They
Yeah.
adapted to the new reality. But if you look into the making of those food, you're gonna realize that, oh my God, it's the same. And honestly, you go to Jamaica and you live in Ghana, and I'm not sure you're gonna see much difference.
No, even the hibiscus. When I went there,
Hibiscus,
oh,
yeah,
I love that drink.
yeah.
I could keep
There
drinking
you
that
go.
every day.
There you go. So yeah, so there is a lot of similarity. But obviously, somebody took time to tell us, no, 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 those guys here, they are of a different kind. They are not you. They are not whatever, you know. And of course, you born in these things. You are fed into it from the radio, from the newspaper, from television, from religion, from this and that. And of course, you start believing in it. But when you start giving yourself the opportunity, permission, giving yourself permission to start exploring, you say, oh, hold on. Something is not right because what I've been told and what I'm seeing, they're not matching.
That's the mindset. That's what we've been
Yes.
working on for 5 years.
Yeah.
Constantly conversations from different angles is about engaging our mind
Yes.
to questions, to open, to receive information from a different angle, from a different perspective.
Yeah.
But it's drip, 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 and it takes time. And I think the journey has been in part. A lot of our people want things fast. Want it now. Where's evidence now? But those that enslaved us and colonized, they did such a systematic work of covering things up. Not everything's going to be revealed straight away. And it would be hard to digest all that's been hidden. So this is really, really, really good. Right, Brother Jose, with regards to partnerships, I think it would be good if you summarize for the listeners and the viewers the partnerships that we've established and
Yeah.
sustain, because partnership takes work.
That's very good, and that takes work one. But more importantly, at this junction, we cannot win this race if we don't partner. There's no way we're going to win the race. And it's interesting that even these people who colonize us, they partner themselves in Berlin in 1884 to divide us. Before, they were fighting one another. But they said, hold on, it's not wise for us to fight one another. They went to Berlin, they sat there together, and they organized to divide Africa and the Caribbean and did what they did. So they themselves understand that the union, the unity is the key to success. Now, they keep telling us, oh, don't worry, it's on you and yourself, you alone, you can go to heaven yourself, where. So they taught us to be divided. When they know that divided, we are weak. And this is what they've been playing on. So partnership for us at Umoja, in Umoja, is something of a significance two ways. Number one is because the unity is where the things is, you know. Number two is because obviously you share synergies, and there's not one organization which does it all. We cannot do everything. So therefore,
Indeed.
joining forces with other people who do other things then remove us from that thing of being jack of all trades and master of none. So over this year, we partner with the One Map Africa. One Map Africa, for example, is an organization based in Ghana but are spread in a whole continent, which really they are working towards removing the borders of Africa. And and this is true because Africa should not, even if Africa got borders, should not be the borders defined in Berlin in 1884, because Africa was way before that time. So we've in partnership with them where we provide financial literacy, we take part in conferences and this kind of thing. We also partner with ADDI, African Diaspora Development Institute, led by Dr. Arikana. And of course, this organization, is to ride the investment, the technology, the know-how from the diaspora to the continent. And of course, with them, we majority of us are still diaspora anyway, and we are in there. Another one that we partner with is ASIPA. ASIPA is African Sovereign People, Sovereign Indigenous People Alliance, African Sovereign Indigenous People Alliance. This organization has got a headquarter in Barbados right now, and obviously they do a range of things from media, from whatever in that regard. But they are very based in the Caribbean, but obviously they spread the wings around around to the continent. Another one is Africa 360. Africa 360 is based in Brazil, in Salvador, and the Salvador is the area outside Africa who's got more Africans in the world. So when you leave Africa, if you want to go to what they call mini Africa, you go to Salvador, anything. And this organization is entrepreneur organization. And then, of course, our job is to partner with them in that regard. Of course, they become members of our organization, and we provide literacy, financial, and whatever. We've got many others. For example, Bitaval, which is an organization which creates software for building, because many times we build without this thing, and they doing this and quite good. Another one is this is in Brazil too. The other one is the Chamber of Commerce in São Tomé. Obviously, we've got Intersyndical, which is Union of Teachers, Inter-Union of Teachers in São Tomé as well. And we've got obviously many other organizations that we are working with and we are talking to in order to build that union. We need to build that unity to make sure that we win the race. Alone, we can't do it. So, and of course, here in the UK, we've got the Supreme Radio that we've got a partnership with. We've got a UK Radio as well, which is another a good partner of ours. In Holland, we've got Afro Magazine, which is a magazine in Netherlands that we've got a partnership with. So we've got a range of partnership around the world to help us connect and create that unity, which is going to take us, move forward in our journey.
Thank you, brother. And I just reflected and came to mind that the bit you elaborate about partnership and the Europeans reading the power of partnership with the Berlin, they also enshrined it in law, because that's where you get white. How they categorize, they are all one, even though they're different nations and different tribes themselves. But they took it another step by using legislation of their countries or where they're colonized to categorize, to get that mass numbers together. And I don't think how people really understand that.
It's unfortunate that most of us don't understand that. We still thinking, oh, I'm British, I'm French, I'm American, I'm this, I'm that. Guys, when I walk on the street, and I say this all the time, nobody asks me where I'm coming from. They see a black man walking on the street. End of story. Maybe later, or where you originally from, whatever. But on the face, they see a black man or an African man or whatever it is. So if we do not realize that we need to actually work as one, then we're going to be diminished all the time. There's no other way around it. Now, again, for example, if you go to West Africa, you've got 14 countries who are called Francophone countries. So they are tied into France. And then you've got 5 countries in Africa who are tied into Portugal. And then you've got, 10, 20 which are attached to Britain. Then you've got 3 which are attached to Italy. Then you've got 1 attached to Spain. You cannot win that race that way. Forget it. So we need, because at the end of the day, they're going to play in our mind these things. So we need to really come together. And of course, when we just saw it now, as soon as the Sahel created the union, so Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger, what's happening? America shook, France shook because they are together. If it was one country like Thomas Sankara did in 1983, they took him down quite easily. But today there are those three countries, and there are a few other countries who are saying that they're going to join. The whole West is very nervous because the union is what they don't want us to have. And we must work towards that.
Yes. Right, Brother Jose, we've talked about the year gone. Now let's talk about the year to come. How would you advise our brothers, sisters, aunties, uncles to prepare for the year 2026, given that from an African perspective, we don't see time, or we shouldn't, as the way the West do, so that all are connected, the past, the present, and tomorrow. How should we prepare?
Well, the first
Financially
thing,
and otherwise.
the first thing we need to adjust our mindset, because many of us are so ingrained in here that we think we've got 2 properties here, so then we arrived, okay? Or we've got £100,000 in the bank, then we arrive. First thing, we need to adjust our mindset, because at any point they can freeze your account and you have no access to your money. Now, if you look into properties here, they are taxing property now to the bone. Everything they are taxing. Why? Because it's easy for them and they are in their own country. So more than 70% of our wealth is tied into properties. So the first thing we needed to do as people is adjust our mindset. Number one. Number two, start exploring opportunities of making some money in Jamaica, making some money in Barbados, making some money in Nigeria, making some money in Ethiopia. You can start with something like, £500 or £1,000. If you don't know how to go about that, speak with an organization like, for example, Umoja. We have all the interest for you to do well. We want you to succeed because you succeeding means that we will succeed too. The other thing I would advise is that, okay, if you are still confused, right, come to an organization like Umoja, attend 2, 3, 4, 5 sessions, have the frank conversation, because you can go to all organizations in this country to tell you that you're going to make money, but that money is going to be subject to the king's rule, subject to the king's wish. And if you don't wake up about that, I'm going to give just 2 small little examples. One, if you look into for example, pension, which majority of us, unfortunately, receive a 7th or so. In 2012, they came with that thing that they call triple lock, which means that your pension would grow no matter what, at least 2.5%. It was attached to this and that. Now they want to scrap it. So people who was not retired at the time, like you and I,
indeed,
we're gonna be retired now. Where is the triple lock? We don't have. On top of that, 2012, you could retire in this country, collect a bit of your pension, and go and live in Kukuland, or you live in Barbados, or live in whatever you could. Now they're scrapping this, which means that every 3 months you have to come back to the country to sign to your GP that you're still alive. How many of us can go and live in Barbados and come here every 3 months? How many of us can do that? Or I'm talking about Barbados, I can talk about Nigeria, I can talk about South Africa, I can talk about Angola. How many of us can board a plane every 3 months to come here and show the GP that we are alive? So we need to start being aware of this thing. Before, what our parents did, we are not able to do it anymore. On top of that, if you leave a property in this country and you go and live in Barbados, live in Caribbean, or live in Africa, whatever, there will be additional property tax, whether the property is shut or rented or so. So we need to start realizing that the tying, they're closing the circle. It's becoming smaller and smaller and smaller, to the point that you come in this country, you work to the death, and you die here. And you die with no, because think about it. If you get, let's say, £2,000 in pension and go and live in Jamaica, you're going to have a decent life. Can you say the same here with £2,000 a month here? I doubt it.
No,
So,
no.
these are the things that we are suggesting to people. 2026, remember, yes, we've got a different way of looking at the time. But unfortunately, life expectancy is 80, 82, 85, which means that most of us will not be past 82. Most of us will not be. It being that the case, you have to consider the time, whether you like it or not. So, for Umoja, having seen it, we're going to continue to do the Umoja Ubuntu economics because we believe that education, training, and literacy is something very important. So we're going to continue to do that for our people. We are launching Umoja Voice magazine. Umoja Voice magazine also is going to bring a lot of information in written format for people to have a look into. Of course, we're going to continue with the Umoja Voice Radio. We're going to continue here. And we're going to launch a couple of more projects because the reality is you need to make enough money to be at least to be balanced. In case if you become sick, you've got money to go and not to go into the bottom pile of NHS. Because another thing that we are confused about is that our parents, our ancestors would say that NHS will take care of them. Fine. But the NHS today absolutely broke, is bankrupt. It's not going to take care of you. Yeah, it's changing, but it's bankrupt. The worst situation is this bankrupt. So they themselves are doing all they can to fix the NHS, which means that we are at the bottom of the pile anyway. So that idea that we're going to be treated, have a good medical treatment, so this is an illusion in our head. It's not applying today. It's not. It applied before, but not today. So with all of those things, start with the conversation and with the project making money and the exploration. So these are things that we could suggest to our brothers and sisters to start doing. Take 1 hour a week to learn about you, about money, about finances, about well-being, about healthcare. Take one hour a week. 1 hour. 1 hour a week. Come on. Anybody can do that if they wanted to. So these are suggestions. There is a lot more, but
I think this is very, very good. And before today's meeting and session, I was reflecting on conversations we've had over the years and our 5 years of group economics. And I remember you saying that we have to be the CEOs of our lives. I remember it came back in the conversation. And that is really true. You know what's going on. We can't control those things we can't control, but we can control us and how we use our time. So I hope going to round up, I hope our colleagues, our brothers and sisters, shouldn't have used colleagues, that's very European. My brothers, my sisters, my elders, really take note of our conversation today. Brother, before we leave, is there any nuggets, anything you haven't been able to say that you would like to say to one another, Caribbean saying, before we say goodbye today?
Well, there is a lot to say, but one thing I wanted us to start thinking is, well, if all goes okay, how much, let's say, money you need to keep you healthy and alive? Ask yourself, how much money you need to keep yourself healthy and alive. Remember that your health at 75 is not the same at 35. You have to remember that. Your health at 75 is not the same as 35. So ask yourself, how much money I need? So if I need to go and live just a decent life, how much do I need? That's it. Because the king will not give it to you. And that one I can promise you. He wouldn't give it to you. So
no matter where we are, the leader of the state ain't going to do it for us.
That's it. And if you are the CEO, then you are at the top of the pile. So, sorry, you have to take care of the direction of this enterprise.
Indeed.
And And if we spend so much time to maintain our car, for it to go with a good tire, with a good this, good that, what about you yourself?
Yeah.
Are you telling me that you take more care of your car than yourself? If you're doing that, then it's not a wise decision at all, because you're supposed to be the one who's supposed to be prime. Every part of your body, every part of your health and your spirit and whatever should be prime. But no, it looks that we spend more money maintain our car than ourselves. And this is not a good business.
That is a very good challenge. So for it's the car, and for some it's the nails and the hair.
Yes.
But we have to
Yes.
look at what's inside us, not just the outside. And I think that concludes, brothers and sisters, that
Yeah.
I would like to leave. In addition, what Brother Jose said, remember your health is your wealth. And on that note,
Absolutely.
have a good holidays, and we will see you in the other side of the European Western calendar of 2026. Have a good
Yes.
holiday wherever you
And
are.
yeah. Thank you very much for that.
UGW.
Yes. Yeah. You guys are going to have a big break and then back around February, with a nice conversation. Uncomfortable, let's say. Sometimes that conversation is very uncomfortable, but there you go.
But without
Yeah.
no growth, without pain, there's no growth.
There's no growth. That's true.
Yeah.
So
take
thank you
care.
so much once again, and have a good one.